What is up, guys? It's Swimmer here, and no battles today. I've done a couple battles in the Remix Cup, a couple battles in normal Great League. Not sure which I really like better, but what I wanted to talk about today was a little bit about the Remix Cup, but a lot about the Rivals Week, and in particular the new Pokemon and the Wild Spawns this week. So the new Pokemon that have been released are, um, I guess, Skrelp, which evolves into Dragalge, Clauncher, which evolves into Clawitzer, or Clawitzer, Clawitzer, who knows, and then the Therian form of Landorus. Now, I guess I'll go in order of increasing interest, I guess. So Clawitzer is fairly attack weighted, and it does not charge energy all that quickly, and all of its moves take quite a while to get to. So I do not expect this to be relevant in either Great League, Ultra League, Ultra Premier, anything like that. Uh, it is it gets access to Water Gun, Crab Hammer, um, Dark Pulse, and Ice Beam. And a lot of those are half decent moves, but it just can't get to them fast enough to really threaten. And in Go Battle League, basically the rule is you either have to be bulky or fast, um, and it's neither. So it's not really going to be relevant unless it gets a um, fast move that lets it generate energy much more quickly. Next is Therian Landorus. Therian Landorus I was actually really excited for, except that I guess somewhat as expected, since they had done this with both Therian Tornadus and Therian Thunderous, they gave Landorus a new moveset on release. And the important part about this is that it no longer has access to Earth power. So from both a raids and PvP perspective, this really hurts Therian Landorus. For raiding, obviously the 2-bar charge moves are a lot better because they result in a lot less energy wastage. And then for PvP in Master League, Earth Power from Therian Landorus basically one-shot everything that it was super effective against anyways. So now that it has Earthquake instead, it just takes it an extra mud shot to get there, which is really not great. It also swapped out, it lost access to Rock Slide in favor of Stone Edge. This is probably not all that big of a problem for it. The Stone Edge actually threatens something like a Togekiss a fair bit more. So I think that would have actually been totally fine if it had Stone Edge Earth Power, but losing Earth Power really does hurt it. Now it's in a spot where it can't even reliably beat Dialga, because Dialga can just 2 shield and straight Dragon Breath down, leave with basically an Iron Head, and you know, coming into a Dialga with a lot of energy is no fun. So Landorus is in a bit of a tough spot now. In fact, I actually think that Incarnate Landorus is going to be preferred going forward still, because the benefits of Earth Power are just so strong. So actually, let me check PD Poke really quickly. I had dragons up here, but if we go to Master League Classic and we go to Landorus, yeah, the Incarnate Landorus is actually favored according to PV Poke. So it's a little bit disappointing. Therian Landorus will still be very strong for raids. And I mean, honestly, it will still be quite interesting in the Master League, and I think fairly strong, but I honestly don't think it will be nearly as relevant as it could have been. Okay, so last but not least is Dragalge. Um, and so Dragalge is actually a pretty interesting Pokemon. It is a dragon poison typing, so notably this makes it the first non-legendary dragon type that we've had released that does not take super effective damage from charm. So that poison typing is really interesting. It has half decent bulk, so it's bulkier than something like a Meganium, or sorry, not than a Meganium, than a Venusaur, but not as bulky as something like a Meganium, so somewhere in between those two. And then the moveset it has is pretty interesting. So it's got access to, let me just expand this here, scroll down a little bit. So you guys can see it's got access to Dragon Tail, Water Gun, and Acid as its fast moves. And then Aqua Tail, Outrage, Gunk Shot, and Hydro Pump on the charge moves. So for the fast moves, I think that Dragon Tail is probably going to be preferred in most scenarios. You could definitely make an argument for Water Gun, and particularly in perhaps some restricted formats. In the Great League, Water Gun will definitely be beneficial, but I think generally Dragon Tail is going to be preferred. For the charge moves, Aqua Tail is going to be mandatory. All of its other moves are quite expensive, so you really need some sort of baiting potential. And then you've got Outrage, Gunk Shot, and Hydro Pump. I don't think anybody's likely to run Hydro Pump. You've got Aqua Tail already, and I just can't see running double water moves. And then Outrage and Gunk Shot are really about what type of coverage you want. So if you run Gunk Shot, then you can really threaten any Charmers that switch into you. If you run Outrage, you're going to be playing more like a Kingdra or something like that. So um, in particular, I think that where Dragalge is going to have the most play is in Ultra Premier. So that's actually what I've got up here is we've got Ultra Premier up here on PV Poke. If you guys have never been to PV Poke, this is a tremendous resource for Go Battle League. It lets you check out different matchups, what Pokemon are strong in what league. So if you've never been there, highly recommend checking it out. But Dragalge is ranked 43 in the Premier Cup for Ultra League, which is pretty good. I mean, it's hard to put too much stock in the ranking because, I mean, you look down and Kingdra is number 93, and I see Kingdras all the time. So, uh, you know, take that with a grain of salt, but I see Dragalge actually fulfilling a very similar role to Kingdra. So with Dragon Tail, Aqua Tail, Outrage, that's a very similar move set to Dragon Breath, Octazooka, and Outrage. And so Kingdra is often used as a safe swap. I see Dragalge being kind of the same role. There's not a lot that it really loses hard to. It loses quite badly to ice types. So something like an Abomasnow, if an XL Alolan Ninetales would be absolutely its worst nightmare, so that is definitely something that would hurt it. But you know, it is a hard wall to Venusaur. It is a very good response to a Swampert if they're running Sludge Wave. Because that dragon typing and the poison typing means that it's resisting both both Hydro Cannon and Sludge Wave. Obviously, it's taking super effective damage from Earthquake if they've got it, but it really has a lot of pretty decent matchups. And that dragon typing means that it's resisting all of the starter types, right? So you're resisting water, you're resisting grass, fire, even electric. So something like an Ampharos that's got Focus Blast and Thunder Punch, it is going to have a bad time against Dragalge. So this is something I'm definitely interested in. I think it's going to be really fun to use. I do unfortunately think that Ultra League is where it's going to have the most play, so you're going to want to get those XL candies if you can, but that's something that I would take a look at doing. Out of curiosity, I'm actually going to check out the Retro Cup because Dragons, I think, are going to be pretty good there. Go down. Oh, it's 109. So even in something that I think would be a pretty favorable situation for it, it's in the Great League, it's not very high up. So definitely think it's going to be an Ultra League Pokemon. But yeah, be on the lookout for Dragalge, get that Dex entry, and maybe consider trying to farm some XL candies. And that actually brings me to the next point about this week. there's some really solid wild spawns. So you've got Metatite, for which getting the XL candy can be really helpful for Great League. You've got Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, both have shinies, and obviously share the Tyrogue XL candy. Getting Hitmonchan candy in particular, I think, is potentially a really good idea. I can see Hitmonchan actually being a pretty interesting pick in the Ultra League. So that is, it's something kind of like a Hypno, with its huge versatility with all of the different punches it has access to, plus close combat. It's very, very hard. So that's definitely something to look out for. You've got Zangoose, which Caleb Peng, I don't know how many of you have checked out his channel, but way back in like season 1 or 2, he used a Zangoose line in the Open Ultra League to great effect, and used that to hit rank 10. And now that Zangoose can get up to level 50, it's only going to get stronger because you do have just a little bit of extra bulk, a little bit of extra attack power. So get yourself some Zangoose candy. And then, of course, you've got the new spawns. You've got the Clawitzer and the Algae, or their pre-evolved forms at least. So there's a lot of really good spawns this week. So I'm actually thinking that I'm probably going to drop a few incense and try and really take advantage of that. And something that you might want to think about doing as well if you've got the resources available to you. I guess the last thing to talk about is the Remix Cup. So Remix Cup is live as of a couple days ago. So for those of you that didn't see, most of you probably have seen by this point the Pokemon that have been banned. But let's just go ahead and jump over there. There's no Azu, there's no Galarian Stunfisk, no Venusaur, and a few others. No Umbreon as well, notably. So basically what it leaves is here, and you guys can see that there's a lot of counter users. So there's Medicham, Defense Deoxys, Wobbuffet, all of which are pseudo fighters. They're actually psychic types that are also fighters, so pretty interesting to see them all super high. Bastiodon, very, very prominent, as is Registeel. And then we've got, Cresselia, Shadow Machamp, Alolan Ninetales, Vigoroth, Scrafty. So again, a lot of counter users in there. Sableye is still very high. I was astonished that Sableye was not part of the ban list. I see Sableye like 3 times a set. So pretty interesting, but not exactly sure yet what to make of the meta. So haven't not quite ready to post a video yet. But that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely consider going out and getting some of the spawns that are available this week. And I hope to see you guys next time.